Dr. Zhu, and I would like to speak about a little bit on basics of parenting. And the basic of the parenting is to understand how a child grows between 0 to 7 years of age emotionally. And it's a very important thing because nobody ever taught us, and some of us who were very lucky and have parents like that, we could learn actually to manage our childhood pretty well. But these children are the result of that not having proper parenting. And many of the adults who grown up have a lot of adulthood personalities, which is originating back in a childhood. And this hits about 98% of the adults. Now what I like to do is enlighten you about what are these kids going through and what does it mean to them. So first of all is what we're going to talk about is emotional wounds. Have you guys ever heard of that? Emotional wounds which are inborn with us. No. There are 5 emotional wounds which is inborn with us, and the parents awakens them in us. Okay? First is, and they go by age on a scale from 0 to 7. The first is rejection. Okay? So now I'm going to get my laptop out. And
you are with the training session?
It's a training session right now. So come have a seat if you like. So first is rejection. And every of these wounds are so painful, right? That the kids develop a behavior mess over it. And Lise Bourbeau is a lady who actually, you can find all this work. It's her work. And I can show you some of the book is actually available on the internet. But I'll tell you all what you need to be knowing about this. So we got rejection. Can you take the screen? So if a child feels rejected, there's the very first wound which is woken up by the parent of the same sex or same gender. So if it's a girl, a mother will awaken it in her by rejecting her. If it's a boy, it's a father. So all of these boys have been rejected because no father. So their emotional wound is there. So every other behavior what these kids are doing, come close to me so make sure my voice is there, is the basis of will be rejection. So whatever happens, little things, they will feel rejected, and the behavioral mess over that is withdrawal. If you withdraw, then nobody can reject you, right? So if nobody can reject you, then you have to be staying outside society.
Right.
So kids go away and cry in a corner. So what do you do when you send the kids punishing them into the corner? You're rejecting them again. Okay? So the second is abandonment. Second is abandonment, which is the kids, it's awakened by parent of the opposite sex. For the boys, it's a mom. For girls, it's the father. And it's a behavioral mess over that is dependence. So if you are behaving in a depending manner, then nobody can leave you.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So kids become very touching. There has to be something wrong with them always to pay attention. The kid who is always getting hurt and he's always crying because he's completely making himself dependent. Okay? So the number 3 is humiliation. Humiliation is masked by masochism, and that is inflicting pain on the person, him or herself, and inflict it out, and it's awakened by the mom. Now how do mothers do this? Mothers do this by making fun of the kids. If they drop food on their clothes, they make fun of them. If they start to catch them playing with themselves, that's all humiliating them. Now if a kid has been humiliated like that, then they start to develop environment where the environment will humiliate them, they humiliate themselves, they drop things, they fall in front of other people when the other kids can laugh at them, and they all doing it themselves because they love pain. Okay? Now because of this, they are going to like to inflict pain out. Because the pain is so much inside them that they have to inflict pain out. So now you understand why kids beat up other kids and lock them in, just because the pain inside them is so great they can't hold it anymore.
They have to take the frustration out.
They have to take their anger and frustration, and it's already in an anger level. Okay? The next, as they are going towards age about 5 and 6, that's going to be betrayal. And betrayal will be awakened by the parent of the opposite sex. Now, and that will be for the boys is the mom. And then the basic behavioral pattern over that is going to be controlling or being controllers. They want to control every situation, because if you control every situation, can anybody cheat you? No. So why men become so controlling over their wives? Because they've been cheated by and controlled by mom. Now, makes sense now, a lot of things? Okay? And then the last one, between age 7 to 8, is injustice. Injustice is not fair. So the kids become very rigid. The behavior on the top of that is rigidity. And this is awakened by parent of the same sex, the father. So rejection is the first, and how unfair that my father loved me.
Exactly.
Okay? So now it's a scale. You can beautifully look at how it develops in the kids, age by age, because you see the younger ones and the older ones. Okay? So now their mother abandoned them, and their father rejected them. Now there is a multiple and mixture of this in the kids. Highly likely they're gonna have all, but you're gonna see that kids who eat a lot, and right now the eating for them is controlled. They can't eat a lot because it's impossible. They can only eat as much as they have. But if not, then all the humiliated kids start to look for self-love in food. So they become fat and impossible to lose weight. Okay? Now that's important to understand, because they take up room. I mean, their body weight is becoming as big in a ratio of how much love they want to get or receive. It applies to adults. I know I am like overwhelming your brain right now, but this is why it's on a video, so you can watch it again and
Exactly,
again.
we need guidance. We all need guidance.
So I didn't know this. I've become, I'm in counseling, not counseling, coaching, because this is different than psychotherapy. And I think we can make a very big difference here. So these kids' primary need to be learning is how to love themselves. And how important they are and how valuable they are. Now, sorry, this is not the slide. We're going up here. Oh yeah, this is, take this off. Okay, so what do we learn from our parents? From parents of the same gender, we are learning how to give love. So these kids will not learn how to give love. There is no father. There will be a father figure here who, if they are going to be looking up to, they're going to learn how to give love, how to give to the opposite sex, and that's going to be you. So you're going to be ready for that, how you treat women in front of them, because they are like sponge soaking it all up. Okay? And parents of the opposite gender, they are going to be learning how to accept love and what kind of love they are receiving. Okay, and what is love after all? Okay, and then from you of the parents of the same gender, they are going to be learning how to love themselves, and if they can love themselves, they learn how to love others, because you can only share what you have. If you don't have, you can't share it. So your biggest test here and the rest of the